Hi, this is Melanie for Pardesi Reviews, and I'm here to do a review of the classic film Mere Mehboob, starring Rajendra Kumar and Sadhana. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do film reviews and trailer reactions of Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, and Malayalam cinema. Mere Mehboob. I had a request to do a video about this 1963 classic film, Mere Mehboob, which means my beloved. This film was a first for me in so many different ways. So I think it may be the only time that I've seen what's called a Muslim social film, which was very prevalent in Hindi cinema in the 1950s and 1960s. And it made me really think about what modern films I've seen in Hindi cinema that have had mostly Muslim characters. And there are not very many that I can think of. Rais, where Shah Rukh Khan, who is of course a Muslim, was playing a Muslim character, and he was acting opposite Mahira Khan, an actress from Pakistan. But that was a gangster film, so that wasn't anything really close to what this film was like. I suppose Fitur, maybe, but I was reading some articles like the modern film Shahid, where Rajkumar Rao plays a lawyer, could be designated as a Muslim social film, but I think it could be established that it's definitely not as common as it once was. It's become more and more of a rarity. Although, one film that immediately came to mind because, well, if you're not familiar with this film, there's a character who is a courtesan or a tawaif, and it really made me think of Colonic, again with a lot of Muslim characters. And I mean, Colonic is a period film. This film, set in 1963, was supposed to be a contemporary film. You know, Madhuri Dixit is playing a courtesan. There's family drama, but it also had the added, you know, partition and all of that on top of it. Whereas Mere Mehboob was a breath of fresh air for me after seeing the bombastic Saho last week. I just felt like, okay, I need a completely different change of pace, a palate cleanser, if you will. Something that's just recognized as universally good. Some of the things that were new to me also was that I've never seen a film with Rajendra Kumar. And I know, yes, he's been in Mother India, which I still have not seen. I know. I need to see that. I had not seen a film with Sadhana. Ashok Kumar, who plays Sadhana's character's brother, he's a Nawab. He's the one that's in love with the courtesan played by Nimmi. Ashok Kumar, I've seen him in Mr. India in a supporting role, the film with, of course, with Anil Kapoor, in the latter part of Ashok Kumar's lengthy career in cinema. It wasn't just that the two leads were so amazing and so expressive in their love story. It's that every single supporting actor was amazing. And also we have Johnny Walker playing the best friend of Rajendra Kumar's character. And well, one thing I'll just tell you is I could take Johnny Walker in small doses. There was a lot of Johnny Walker in this film. He was the comedy subplot. A little of him goes a long way, and there was a bit too much of that for me. But oh my gosh, the music in this film. Mere Mehboob Tujhe Mere Mohabbat Kasam. So of course it has this famous song, Mere Mehboob Tujhe, and it's because our main character, played by Rajendra, is Anwar. He has met a girl who was in a burqa, who was completely veiled except for her eyes. And so he's all despondent, and his friend says, well, there's a poetry contest tonight. Why don't you write a poem to her to tell her how you feel? I'm sure if she feels the same, she will be there. And there's this just amazing scene where he doesn't just recite his poem, he sings it. And of course she's in the audience, and she's at first shyly kind of bites her lip and just looks down, and she's so overcome. And then when she sees how distraught he is by them not being together and not have met again, she starts crying. Oh my gosh, it's such a moment. And that's just the first of many amazing, beautiful moments in this film. It's lengthy, but there's a lot going on. Because of the veils, because of Purda, because of them not being able to speak face to face for almost half the movie, there's mistaken identities and hidden identities and secrets. And oh my gosh, Anwar, Rajendra's character, we find out that his education is being paid for by his sister, who has become a courtesan and a dancer. She has given the sacrifice of this orphan 2 children to hopefully set her brother on a successful path. And so she doesn't want to be acknowledged by him because she's afraid that her tainted status, her tainted reputation will rub off on him. Sadhana's character, Hasna, her brother is in love with this courtesan, and again, it's all this, propriety that a wealthy man living in a mansion with a storied family, and feels that even though he has this love for this dancing girl, he cannot marry her because that would bring down the family name. It's all of these things wrapped up in pride and purity and, oh my gosh, and secrecy. And then there's a best friend played by Ameeta. And so there's wonderful songs where Hasna and Ameeta dance and sing about their first loves. Just amazing. This was just a wonderful film. It's definitely a slow burn, but the song track is, I can just tell, these are timeless classic songs. The soundtrack was by Naushad. Oh, amazing. This director was Harnam Singh Rawail, and I don't believe I've seen any of his other works. I haven't seen a lot of Hindi films from the 60s and earlier. I know there's a whole nother world for me to discover with some of these old films. I was really impressed by all the performances all around. Even small villain roles, walk on for a few lines, made an impact. Oh gosh, there's something about these old films, just like one touch of the hand and they fall in love. But there's a problem if you're falling in love with someone who's so completely veiled. Like, I don't quite get that. Like, all you see is the eyes, and it's and you touch the hand and it's instant love. And then the problem is when you meet another girl and it could be her and you can't tell. Yeah, it creates a lot of problems and issues. Yeah, a lot of plot points with all of that. Mistaken identities and yeah. This film could have led to a tragic ending. It kept me almost, I'm not going to say edge of my seat, but it kept me interested throughout the entire length because I really was not confident in how it was going to end. There was all of these twists in the second half, and I really, honestly didn't quite see the ending, which was so completely satisfying. I just wasn't even sure this could have been a Romeo and Juliet, kind of a thing. Like, people were threatening to commit suicide and all sorts of, like, anything. I just had one of those feelings like anything could happen right now, which is great because you're just really on your edge and like, oh my gosh, I want a happy ending so bad. Such a satisfying ending to this film. And I mean, you can see it's mostly set on soundstage, but another thing that I really enjoyed about it is there's some outdoor scenes in Lucknow, and also the opening sequences, both Sadhana and Rajendra's character are supposed to be students together at Aligarh, which of course I know from the film Aligarh. It was interesting, some of those scenes that were set on the university. So just interesting just to see life in Lucknow and what it looked like in the early 1960s. That was fascinating to me as well. Wow. So I'd love to know what fond memories that you might have of this film. I'm sure this was the kind of film that probably played on television for many years. It's available on YouTube with English subtitles, absolutely free, which is how I watched it. I'm so glad that I had this film as a suggestion. It was so romantic and just the kind of film that I love. Oh gosh, this is part of the reason why I really enjoy Hindi cinema, because it gives me that romance the same way that old-time Hollywood films used to give me. One thing is, I obviously don't speak Hindi or Urdu, but even though I can't speak it and I'm relying on the subtitles, I could hear the poetry. So much of the film was about poetry and speaking in couplets, and it was just so beautiful to my ear, even if I didn't understand word for word what was being said, just, if I had closed my eyes without reading the subtitles. But it was still so beautiful. And you could just tell it has, I don't know, there's just poetry in general about the language that was spoken throughout the film, even if they weren't reciting a poem or singing a song. I hope you enjoyed this classic review. Follow me on Twitter at PardeziYT. Remember, you can always suggest a film to me here in the comments or on Twitter, or email me at askpardesi@gmail.com. Subscribe here to Pardesi Reviews, and if you hit the bell when you subscribe, you'll never miss another film review or trailer reaction.